Soon after that, I noticed that we were getting powdered eggs, powdered milks, things like that, kind of yucky food. And I really didn't like that. And I didn't see my dad around for a while. Never heard my mom and dad fight, but he was kind of gone. I knew he was working hard. And I got tired of this food, and I always wanted to go to this store called Usave. I bartended for a while at, call it a ladies' bar, and made quite a bit of money there. I was 17 at that time, but backing up just a little bit, I worked at Kmart, the shoe department, but I worked out the whole time. I was always working out, going to school, trying to make good grades. Never wanted a repeat episode of the food stamp situation, and always wanted to be successful. These guys really understood my story. I had been in the papers several times for athletics at that time, and long before politics, and they took a liking to me and said, "Well, you come down to meet Hiro Matsuda and see if you got what it takes." Terry and I were ready, fully prepared to do 20 minutes in a Broadway. We're supposed to let the time run out, and of course when you do that, you want to have all the false finishes, 1, 2, kick out, 1, 2, kick out, and time it to where I just have that heel pinned, and boom, saved by the bell. And it can work either way. So we go into our finish, and I notice that all the heels are outside of their dressing room, all the baby faces are outside of their dressing room, and I'm thinking, I tell Terry, I said, "Look, Terry," they're all watching us into this auditorium for television on a Tuesday, and I see a big pile of money, and Gerald Briscoe's got a blindfold on, and I'm just get in, and I'm kind of looking, and Dusty's sitting behind the desk. All the boys are in there, and there's a little X on the wall, and Gerald's got his eyes closed, and he's walking towards the wall with the blindfold on, and he's supposed to get his finger on the X, and he wins the pile of money. Well, he misses it by like 4 inches. I go, "Dang, I can do that." And Dusty goes, "Hey, Beepo." That's nice. He goes, "Hey, Beepo." He said, "Listen, man, you can win that whole pile of money there. You throw $2 in, and all you got to do is hit that X." We're driving along. Gerald's driving. Jack's in the front seat of his Lincoln Versailles. I've got to be the bartender in the back seat with the styrofoam cooler. And all of a sudden, right past us comes, it was Frankie Kane, the Great Mephisto. Pat Patterson was driving, and Louis Dondero was mooning us out of the moonroof of his other town car, Lincoln Town Car, gold one, gold color. And we started laughing. Everybody starts laughing, and Jack goes, "God dang, Beep, those guys keep messing with you, man. We got to do something." I saw Doug, and I couldn't control my emotions. And got into a fight. I guess I beat him up. In the process, some of the pictures got broken, and they carried him away. I guess he went to the hospital, and looking back, it's not something that I'm real proud of, but I think anybody that's watching this tape, most people probably would have done the same. He always wanted, he bragged about his sons. He was very difficult on his sons as far as expecting the very most from them, and he had that big rough, gruff voice, and it seems like he kind of lived that Fritz von Erich gimmick attitude in the home a lot, but he was still a good man. He never beat them or did anything that was off the chains. He was just kind of a tough guy that expected a lot from you, and maybe he was a little too hard. One of the hardest things to overcome is when your dad tells you how great you are in front of other people. I went to leave finally. He jumped on my back from behind as I was leaving. He jumped on my back. He knocked me down. We rolled around again, and Ivan Koloff was there. And Matt had stuck his finger like he was going to pull my eyeball out. I'll never forget this. And Ivan went and, he might have kicked my butt at that point. He might have pulled my eyeball out. I don't know. You had to shoot with them to slam them or to get them off their feet, and it was always a fight. It was just a fight to get them to do anything. And here you've bled for them, and bumped for them, and hurt yourself. And when I say hurt yourself, I mean you take slams and get choked and do whatever it took to get them heat. You'd expect the same in return, and you just never got it. And it wasn't because they didn't want to, I don't think. More so back to the dressing room after a match that the Heart Foundation, we did the mass confusion thing. It one of my favorite matches. Bret Hart says in his book it was his best tag match ever. And I'd probably have to agree. And we were in LA, I think we were in the Coliseum. But went back to the dressing room, and Vince was so happy. He comes back and says, you know, Nick comes in and said, you know, I know our ratings were off the chart and this and that. And it's just like, you know, you get that when you hear your superiors put you, your bosses put you on a pedestal. That night they put us on such a pedestal, you know, saying that, you know, we had stolen the show. Just thank all the guys before me that paved the way. And God bless them all. People don't realize, most people never realize what a wrestler goes through. I mean, I've been beat up bad. I've got stitches everywhere, stabbed with a bottle, tore this, ripped this thumb. I went to hit Tully Blanchard and ripped this thumb all the way back here in Hamilton when I had to wrestle 3-4 times because it was a bad storm. And Hiroshima months after the Union thing, and a few months or whatever, the week off, and I could see the writing on the wall. We're not going to get the belts. I was getting tired. I had met my wife Tony and really fallen in love and wanted to spend time with Tony. And I knew I was a business person, that I had a little bit of business sense, and I wanted to start a business. Wasn't sure what kind of business I wanted to start, but I had an opportunity in Japan. Japan kept calling me, and Vince wouldn't let me go to Japan. It just seemed like it was going to be a fight for everything. And finally, I just couldn't take it anymore. I really analyzed everything, and I said, well, you know, I'm still. I remember that the Giant had peed in the cooler, and then Dusty had peed in the cooler, and he had it on his lap right here. And somebody said something that was really funny. Andre moves forward in the seat, and as he comes backwards like that, the seat snaps, and it hits Dusty with the styrofoam cooler, and the pee goes completely all over Dusty, and it's freezing outside. It's going to turn basically to ice pretty soon, and he's going, God damn, people, you pissed on the American dream, man. I can't believe you pissed on the American dream. I will never start a fight, but I'm never going to back down from a fight either. And if Sheik wants to fight me sometime, I don't know how we could do it fair because he's a little crippled right now, but had, you know, if there was a way to make a fair fight, maybe if I tied one of my arms behind my back and got one leg, that might be fair, and I'd certainly, we could have the first one arm, one leg match, and I would challenge Sheik right now. I would kick his ass, undoubtedly, after all the stuff he's done to me on the internet and all over the place, the trash that he's talked on Howard Stern about me, my family, and other people. So I have no love lost for the Sheik. I know he's been through some problems. I feel bad for his daughter, you know, dying, overdosing. That's wrong. That's bad. That's horrible. I've experienced stuff in my own family. I can't stand drugs. I hate them with a passion. And you know, Sheik's, I think his mind's eaten up. But it's sad. He's been through health problems. It really is. But at the same time, if somebody keeps egging you and pushing you and backing you and stabbing you and talking trash about you, you can tell them to shut up and stop, please. But if they don't, you know, somebody's got to shut them up.